Yes, sir.
Good evening, Namaskara, and a very warm welcome to everyone here. Welcome to another edition of the Spiral of Wisdom, the satsang that was started by Mahamanize many moons ago. But before we continue, may I request Swati to say the school prayer.
Good evening, everyone. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom, O hidden light, shining in every creature, O hidden love, embracing all in oneness, may each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Thank you.
Thank you, Swati. So that was our wonderful school prayer, theosophical prayer that reminds us that we are a spirit soul having a human experience, that little hidden light shining in every atom. And that we're all interconnected. So we have a wonderful satsang this Thursday by Veera Raghava Ji, who I understand also who conducts a Tuesday satsangs at the School of Ancient Wisdom. So the satsang today is, just give me a moment. The satsang today is The Anatomy of Consciousness by The Scientific Spiritual Search by Sri Veera Raghava Acharya Ji. I believe that Acharya Ji will also introduce himself, as we don't have a write-up yet. So before we continue, let us all center ourselves. We have come in from a busy day. So from the outside world around us, let us enter our inner world by seeking a stronger connection with our own higher selves, our Guru Tattva. Please remember or think of your Ishtadeva, your beloved Guru, or the divine light with all the love in your heart. That emotion, your love, is the key to bringing in a powerful connection with your own higher consciousness. So experience that love. As we sit straight with your back, neck, and head aligned, take a nice deep breath and let go. All the love in your heart. Observe the silence within, the language of the soul that binds all of us. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Enjoy the silence. That stillness within, which is the language of the soul. May all of us who've gathered here today get the maximum value from this satsang. May all our consciousness be raised as per divine will. And may we all always remain on the path to ultimate self-realization. Once again, I thank Acharya Ji for sharing his wisdom with us today for a satsang on the anatomy of consciousness, a scientific spiritual search by Sri Veera Raghava Acharya Ji. Over to you, Acharya Ji.
Namaste. I will share my screen first. Please let me know if it is visible.
It is visible. Thank you.
Wait, just 1 minute. Here, is this visible now?
Yes, Ji.
Okay, thank you so much. I have been requested to give a short introduction of myself before beginning. So
Yes,
let us
please.
understand how we began. We started with a prayer, right? Talking about the hidden light. That hidden light is the ultimate goal for us to realize. As part of that, we take a lot of efforts. But if we take efforts by ourselves, what is the guarantee of anything?
Umka,
None.
close the door.
So we have to take the help of experts. For that, we had a second prayer, right? Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Because without that Guru, we are nothing. So let me begin my introduction by talking about my Guru, as Pancharatra says, Gurum Prakashayet Dhiman. I am just a humble disciple of Shastra Sahiti Vallabha, Rashtrapati Sammanita, Shri Uve Karunakara Acharya Swami. He is a very, very well known person in the field of traditional Vedanta. It is by his grace that I have learned bits and pieces and am able to share something with others. So I am his Shishya. That is my qualification, foremost qualification. Some other qualifications include having Nyaya Shiromani, Vishishtadvaita Shiromani, and so on. They are different. But the greatest, if I am to tell what is my profile, I would just say I am his Shishya. So apart from this side, in the Laukik side, I have some degrees in electronics and PGP in data science and over a decade of experience in digital marketing and AI. I have taught Sanskrit, Ramayana, as some of the people attending here might be aware, uh, along with the commentary of Govinda Raja called Bhushana, and have also been giving online lectures consistently since 4 or 5 years. At the School of Ancient Wisdom, I have been given the opportunity to take the Tuesday Satsang on Vishishtadvaita Vedanta. Apart from these, I have an NGO that is aimed at nurturing Sanatana Dharma, doing whatever little bit we can. That is all. And let me not speak too much about myself. That is not good. We should be here talking about the anatomy of consciousness, right? But look at the slide. The slide seems to be wrong. The title itself is wrong. It says invisible strings. It is supposed to talk about consciousness, but the slide says invisible strings. What are we even doing? A disconnect in the very beginning. Hmm? Let us try to understand consciousness first before we proceed. Very, very basic. We will not go deep. What do you think is conscious? Is stone conscious? Is man conscious? Even a small child can tell. Stone cannot walk, stone cannot talk. I can walk, I can talk. Therefore, I have consciousness. Stone does not have consciousness. Right? This is the basic understanding. From here, we have to start advancing. The aim here is to understand what it is that makes us conscious. And that is not very easy to understand. You might think, what is the big deal? I have life, I am conscious. You enter Vedanta, Vedanta will say there is Atma inside of stone also. How can there be an Atma inside of stone? What are you saying? But Vedanta will say so. So, because we come from that Vedanta school of philosophy, we need to align whatever we have in logic with the scientific findings as well as the scriptural teachings. Only when we combine all of them, we will get a proper picture of consciousness. I would request participants to mute themselves. Some background sound is coming.
Yes, please. I think one of the Zoom users. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I have muted.
So I have revealed here that what I am talking about today is something about tamas, rajas, and sattva. Is that the anatomy of consciousness? Are we? What is it that we are really doing? How does consciousness work? Is it a force of nature? Is it just a state of the mind? A living person speaks, a sleeping person does not speak. A person in coma has no memory, only the heart is beating. And AI can perform better, a robot can perform better. So, how do you even understand consciousness? It is a very important question, especially in today's day and age, with this great disruption being created by the growth of artificial intelligence. Whatever I have been able to do in 10 years, AI is able to do in a single day. It is better. It can think better. You put it inside a hardware properly, you create a robot, the robot will also perform better than me. It will jump better, speak better, it will speak 150 languages. I can't. So is that more conscious? What is the difference? How do you arrive at the difference? This is the question we are beginning with. We have to start with some confusion. Only then we can get clarity. An empty vessel can be filled. An already filled vessel cannot. So if we start with a doubt, it means we are on the right track. That means we are seekers, we are humble. Let us start like that. So we have this dilemma, right? We are living here and we are seeing a lot of things. We are seeing a lot of things. Life is very different from how it was 1,000 years ago. I have to deal with so many living and non-living beings in a single day, which I never had to in the past. Life has become very complex. And we always talk about productivity. You should get more and more healthy. You should get healthier. That is also a kind of productivity. Are you spending time properly at the gym or are you lazing around? Are you going to your office? Are you working well? There in the office, he will say, you have to keep working. Where is the productivity? Where is the ROI? The client will be asking. So wherever we go, there is productivity. 20% ethanol, how productive will the fuel be? That is what people question. No matter what you say, people will ask, what is the productivity? In some way or the other, this productivity keeps coming in. But if things are productive, we should be happier, right? We should be happier. We should be better in every single way. We should be calmer than our ancestors. But look at the world. It is going in the opposite direction. We are getting tired. We are overworking. Without getting tired, we cannot get anything. That is the concept that we say. But we get overtired, overexhausted. There is no gain if there is no pain. We agree. But if there is only pain, what will happen? This pain has been categorized into three by the ancient scholars. They say pain may be something that is originating within you, or maybe it is something that is coming from outside by nature itself. Tsunami. Tsunami caused so much damage in 2006. We know that. And every year, if you visit my state of Tamil Nadu, Tamil Nadu's capital, Chennai, every year, no matter which government, they will say we have taken the best efforts to protect the city from rain. And in every monsoon, the city will get flooded. This is how it happens. So, where is it that we are missing? The thing is that the modern concept of life, the modern approach to living, the modern understanding of the human being, modern psychology, all of them focus on treating the symptoms. It is like giving paracetamol when you have headache. You have headache. Headache is a symptom. It is not a disease. The disease we don't know. Maybe you caught a cold. Maybe something else happened. Maybe you hit the wall and therefore your head is paining. You're saying head is paining and the doctor immediately gives you paracetamol. It treats the symptom. It does not treat the underlying principle inside, the underlying problem inside. 2 weeks back, I got to visit an Ayurvedic hospital. They have a very huge presence. They have like 5-6 hospitals and 350 clinics across India. So their head was telling me that this is a problem with the modern approach. We always look for symptoms. We never look at the root cause. What is the root? What is at the root of it all? It's a very great question. At the root of it all, if I take every single thing in the universe and go to the root of it, I will find consciousness. That is why we are looking at this topic. So we are looking at the anatomy of consciousness because it is at the root of everything. How is it at the root is what we have to understand. That is when we will be able to proceed in the best possible manner. So when we say that I am a conscious being, I am conscious of what I am doing, what does it mean? I am conscious of what I am doing means I know what I am doing. My mind is aware. I have awareness, therefore I call myself conscious. But this awareness, right? You are not just the awareness. Awareness is a quality that you have. But you are possessing that quality. You are the possessor of that quality and not the quality itself. There is a difference between the two. Oh, why get into so much technical jargon? Okay, fine. Let us simplify it. When you say that you are aware, how are you aware? Through the mind. That is all. Now, our Vedic philosophy says you are not your mind. You are something that is superior to the mind also. But when I think, no matter how much I think, I cannot imagine something that is superior to my mind. Maybe somebody else's mind. Ramesh ji is here. He is speaking so beautifully. Maybe his mind is way better than mine. But that is still a mind. I cannot imagine something that could be superior to a mind. Why? Because for that imagination also, I am using only the mind. Hence the Shastra said, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. The Shastra said, mind is the reason why we are bound. Mind is the reason why we suffer. Mind is the reason why we get freed. Mind is the reason why we achieve absolute liberation. This is very important for us to understand. So, back when, some months back, on a Thursday session here at the School of Ancient Wisdom, when we looked at yoga in action, I had cited one shloka. Uddharet Atmana Atmanam from Bhagavad Gita. In that shloka, Lord Krishna says, you have to improve yourself. But there was something in specific that we looked at. We said that one of the meanings of the word Atma is itself the mind. The mind is different from what we usually call the Atma, which is what, since the days of Neo-Vedanta, of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and so on, in English they have started translating as consciousness, supreme consciousness, and so on. So the mind is different. Kindly
Bats touch
Harini ji, thank you.
I'm requesting everybody else as well. Anybody who is unmuted, maybe you are totally silent and I'm only being paranoid, but please mute yourself. So it has been said that the word Atma also has one of its meanings as the mind. Madhvacharya shows an example in his commentary on Bhagavad Gita, where the exact same shloka with the word Atma, if you replace Atma with Manas, you will still find it in Vedic scripture. So the mind is very important. We cannot ignore it. If you want to understand consciousness, you should understand the mind first. Okay. All this lecture for 10-15 minutes that I have spoken, I have said only this much. To understand the anatomy of consciousness, you should understand the anatomy of the mind. That is all we have said so far. Let us proceed. Let us learn something from this lecture. No? So let us see. Ancient Vedic philosophy tells us that our minds are governed by three fundamental forces of nature. I am calling it a force of nature. Please do not imagine force to mean something like wind, rain, something of that sort. This is a different kind of a source. This force is a different kind. It is called guna. We are going to look at that. So these forces which are not visible, right? These forces which are not visible but exist in each and every one of us, as Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, they have to be understood. Only if we understand it, we can become conscious architects of our minds. Look at how the last point is phrased. Because we are superior to the mind, we are architects of our minds rather than being reactive and under control. You know, how do animals react? They react out of impulse, no? I get hungry, I eat. That's all. What is the big deal? Whenever I feel hungry, I eat. Very simple. They don't have a complex way of thinking. I am feeling hungry. However, today is Ekadashi and it is appropriate to fast on Ekadashi. By fasting on Ekadashi, even though I am feeling hungry and some hydrochloric acid is getting generated in my stomach, in the long run, it is good for me physically, mentally, spiritually, everything. It will detoxify me. It will give rest to my stomach. If I look at all the benefits, it is complicated, but I take a better decision, right? So we don't just react instantaneously. Oh, something has happened to me. Let me react. I'm hungry. Let me react. I'm happy. Let me laugh out aloud. You know, have you watched the movies, especially the old movies? Irrespective of language, you watch in Hindi, you watch in Tamil, you watch in Bengali, you watch in Gujarati, doesn't matter. All Asuras and Rakshasas will behave in the same way. How will they laugh? They would laugh so loudly. Ha 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 ha, they will laugh. What are they even doing? Why are they showing them laughing so hard? They are actually trying to portray that these Rakshasas don't have a control of their mind, and therefore, when they feel happy, they show it completely. When they are sad, they show it completely. They get extremely depressed, extremely angry. They cannot control their minds. That is why they are in the wrong side. We should get out of that completely. Of course, we are not Rakshasas. But here and there, we do have these traits, no? As I am talking to you, if a mosquito bites me and it pains, what would the instantaneous reaction be? Tap! I will hit the mosquito. That's what a normal human does. Everybody is not karna, no, to feel all of that pain, stay silent even when all the blood comes out until the guru himself wakes up and asks, why didn't you move? We are ordinary people, but we should elevate ourselves. That is the aim. And that is what we are going to try to do. So we are living in this world of dilemma. We have ups, we have downs. We work a lot, maybe the result doesn't come. We earn money, we feel happy, but that happiness does not last. Sometimes we lose money, we feel sad. Sometimes Whatever is supposed to give us happiness, even after getting all of that, we don't feel happy at all. Sometimes we are extremely sad. We feel like crying. Suddenly some good news comes. We change. So what is really happening? We are just living in this mixed up world. We get some input, we react. We get some input, we react. That's all. How are we different from ChatGPT? Huh? I put some prompt, ChatGPT gives an output. In the same way, I get some feeling from the outside and I react to it. That is all we are trying to be. That is a very big problem. Because as humankind is evolving, as it is advancing over time, it has to become better and better. So how is it that you become better? By understanding the anatomy of consciousness. So I mentioned that the scriptures say mind is governed by three gunas. What does guna mean? The word guna means a strand or a rope. This is what it really means. The word guna also means quality, attribute, and so on. But guess what? The qualities that we possess are like strands and ropes only. So imagine a puppet which is being controlled by strings. These strings are the gunas. When you realize that they are strings and that you are not just a puppet, you actually have consciousness. What would you do? You will pull the strings. You will control them by yourself. Therefore, you would become the architect of your own mind. So, everything in the material universe, not just us, we are living beings, we call ourselves. But as per the Vedic scriptures, everything in the material universe, even the non-living beings, they are also having guna. So, gunas are the invisible threads. I can't see it here, right? I can see a laptop in front of me. I can see a pot in front of me that has water. I can see a ceiling fan when I look up. Where can I see the guna? The pot has gunas, I have gunas, the fan has gunas, but I can't see them. So they are invisible. Yet they weave the entire fabric of the universe. And these gunas are the reason why we are bound to this physical world, why we are unable to rise. Put together these three, right? The quality of having these three, it is called Trigunya. Three gunas are there. Triguna, you can say in Sanskrit. You could also say Trigunya, which results from the three gunas. Therefore, you see the word Trigunya in the scriptures. Now, let us understand these gunas. That is our aim, right? We have to first understand what is binding our consciousness, what is preventing us from going towards that hidden light, what is preventing us from understanding the grand consciousness of which everybody is an equal part. Equal part, if you add all of us, will it become complete consciousness? So what if you subtract one? Not that kind. We are talking about parts that make up the whole, but not by summing them. We will come to that. Vedanta has said, Amsho Nana Vyapadeshat. So if we understand this much, that guna is like a string, strand, rope. We are tied. What is it that has tied me down? I should understand that. Once I understand it, I will be able to move out. In Western philosophy, there is this allegory of Plato's cave. You know, they say the ordinary man is inside the cave. He hasn't seen the outside. For him, whatever is visible inside the cave, that is the reality. He thinks that way. One man goes forward. And instead of being a prisoner inside the cave, he explores. As he explores, he finds the real world. He comes back and then tells the others about it. That man is the philosopher. So, as seekers, what should we do? We should seek. Seeker does not mean a person who does nothing and calls himself seeker. Seeker means a person who actually tries to explore what is going on. Why am I behaving the way I'm behaving? I got extremely angry. I know my friend was wrong, but I shouldn't have shouted at him this way. Why did I shout that way? There are other times I know that I should have woken up on time. I am healthy. I have slept well. Still, in spite of sleeping for the sufficient hours, they say sleep for some 6 to 8 hours every day. I'm sleeping extra 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours extra. Why am I doing that? Do we ask ourselves? If we start thinking, why are we the way we are? We would automatically enter the path towards improvement. So when we ask that question and try to do an honest investigation, what do our scriptures say? They say that we will find these three gunas, three threads. Okay. What about these gunas? What is the big deal? Let us understand first. We need to understand the gunas in order to understand consciousness. Okay, but how do you understand that consciousness? It is said in the Vedic scripture, Mayam tu prakritim divyam, Mayinam tu Maheshwaram. There is Maya and there is Mayi. Mayi is called Purusha. Maya is called Prakriti. This Purusha Prakriti, you will find it in so many Indian philosophies. You go to Sankhya, you will find Purusha Pradhana. What does Pradhana mean? Prakriti only. The same Purusha Prakriti you will see in Yoga school of philosophy also. The same Prakriti will be further divided. You go to Nyaya, Vaisheshika, and so on. They will say from Prakriti this came from this, that came from that, something else came. They will go on that way. Sankhya itself goes on that way. So, this concept of Purusha and Prakriti is present in the majority of philosophies that came from the Indian subcontinent. How do you understand the Purusha? Purusha is pure. He is the witness, as it is said in the Upanishad. He witnesses. He doesn't get affected by anything. Very beautifully in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, see, I am the one who created the system of 4 varnas. But I am not the creator of the 4 varnas. Has Krishna really said this? Yes, he has in the 4th chapter. Tasya kartaram api mam vidhi akartaram avyayam. He is the karta, he is also the akarta. How? He is avyaya. He is unchanging, unmoving. He himself doesn't change at all. How? In the next shloka, he explains, Namam karmani limpanti. I am not touched by karma. Karma doesn't affect me. So I am completely pure. I am not affected by karma. I am not affected by situations, circumstances, my own impurities. I don't have any impurity. I am pure. So, Purusha is to be understood as pure, silent. What do we mean by silent? The entire universe exists only because of that Purusha. How can you say silent? This is so unfair. No, no, no. The supreme consciousness is silent because we are the ones who make all the noise. He is avyaya. He never changed. He has always been the same way. We are the ones who keep saying a lot of things. One day I will say, see, I am so smart. The other day I will say, oh, I was so stupid. I lost all the money in the stock. One day I will say, I am great. Do you know the scripture says, Aham Brahmasmi? What does it mean? I am that Brahman. I am the supreme consciousness. I will get ego. The second day I will say, the scripture says, Aham Brahmasmi. Oh, what a humbling statement. We behave in different ways at different points of time. Towards different people, we behave differently. Ravana behaved in a particular way with Vanaras. How did he behave with his own son? With Indrajit, he showed love and affection only. Loving father. So, we should understand that the same person in front of different people will behave differently. In different circumstances will behave differently. At different points of time will behave differently. In different regions of space will behave differently. Do you know, I have heard this. I don't know how true it is. They say that Indians follow traffic rules much better when they start driving abroad. In India, they don't have to worry much. But abroad, especially in the Western countries, Europe or US or something like that, they are afraid of the very high fees. You have to
Very
pay a
true.
very high penalty. Therefore, they behave much better. So, are you driven by punishment? Are you not driven by your own sense of, it is my duty to drive well for my own sake and for the sake of others and so on? This is not a problem with Indians. This is a problem with the entire world. We do things only when something inspires us to do. Something has to motivate us to do. That something could be fear, that something could be inspiration. Something has to come and nudge us. Nothing has to nudge the Purusha. Therefore, the Purusha does not have to act. It remains akarta, avyaya, unchanging. It observes everything. It is eternal. It doesn't change in any way. It already has everything. Everything that there is with the Purusha only. Then what can it change? How can it change? Yet it is inside of us. It is inside of us, but we don't know. We are inside of it, but we don't know. We don't understand also how can both be true. It can be inside of us and we can be inside of it. This is the nature of the supreme consciousness. It will sound very great when you listen, but to imagine it would be extremely difficult. Then there is Prakriti, the exact opposite. It is also very ancient, no doubt, but it is dynamic. It is everything material, everything that you can see, everything that you can hear, taste, touch. All of it has to do with this Prakriti. This Prakriti, it is said in the Vedic scriptures. Initially, it was Mula Prakriti, the source Prakriti. After that, it transformed itself and manifested itself in different ways. From raw material, you got finished good. Imagine inside the sun, there is nuclear fusion happening. Hydrogen becomes helium. In science, they would say this kind of fusion is what created bigger atoms. Fusion creates bigger atoms. So through fusion, bigger and bigger atoms got created. Carbon got created only in that way. Without carbon, we cannot be existing. Our body is made up of carbon. What else? Hydrogen and oxygen that you have in water. Water is H2O, right? Water is H2O. How did you get that water? So all of these, at some point of time, water got created. At some point of time, carbon compounds got created. Organic compounds got created. All of them are transformations of Prakriti. They are different types of manifestations of Prakriti. So, Prakriti, it is said that this Prakriti has three gunas. Therefore, from Prakriti, you get Mahat. From Mahat, you get Ahankara, and so on. They will all show the properties of the three gunas. All the three gunas are with them, the same three strings. So why are we looking at this slide now? How is this even related to what we saw earlier? We said there are three strings. Those strings are not there for the witness. The witness is only watching. He is just watching the puppet show. The puppet is being controlled by the strings, correct? These are the strings of Prakriti. That is what we should understand. Now, we have said these three gunas, three forces, three strings. What are they? Please tell. Okay. Here, what we call tamo guna or just tamas. Tamas is something that is associated with the absence of knowledge. Tamas represents inertia. You know, it prevents you from having complete control. Due to inertia, what will happen? When you put a brake, you will still move forward. Correct? You want to stop, but you're still moving forward. What does it mean? Lack of control. Tamas. Tamas represents gravity. In a way, it also represents stability. It represents a lot of things. Tamas slows things down. It is associated with inactivity. Therefore, it is also associated with laziness. It is also associated with destruction. And therefore, the Lord of destruction, as we call him, Lord Shiva, being the Lord of destruction, he is called the Lord of Tamas. It doesn't mean he is Tamasika. It means he is the Lord who controls this. So, is it bad? Being evil is bad. Being lazy is bad. But if I don't sleep, what will happen? If I work 24 hours, if I stay awake, after a week, I might not even stay. Everybody knows. We all need sleep. Correct? We all need rest. So, these are all dependent on tamas. There is no doubt about it. But when you have too much tamas, your mind would not work. Correct? If I sleep all the time, if I stay lazy all the time, if I try shortcuts all the time, I will eventually become evil. So I will get lethargic, I will get ignorant, I will get deluded. And whatever is necessary to actually improve myself, I will ignore that. I will become resistant to that. So you can see in the image how tamas is clouding the environment around you. If you were to walk here, you would not be able to see everything properly. It is too thick, correct? You wouldn't know where there is a tree, where the path is clear, where there is a thorn. It is difficult. There is a question in the chat section. Is Prakriti also controlled by the three gunas? Well, the three gunas are the constituents of Prakriti. Prakriti is made up of those three gunas. The first guna is what we are looking at, tamo guna. Why are we looking in this order? Usually they list the gunas in the opposite order. They say sattva, rajas, tamas. Correct? Satviki, rajasi, chaiva, tamasi, cheti, tam shrunu. That is how Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. But we are going in the direction that is necessary for us to improve. So we will start with the lowest and then try to go to the highest. That is our aim. Clouded by ignorance, I said, okay, I will teach on Thursday, but my words are too technical. I am not interactive enough. My English is not that great. I am not giving such interesting examples. I have been clouded by ego. Yes, I will manage the lecture. But what is happening? Well, if I fail to teach properly, it is because of my tamo guna. Simple as that. The second guna, let us go to that. This is Rajoguna. Now, Rajoguna, you can see, right? The raging fire. You can see the image as well. Why? Because fire is intense. In summer season, I felt, oh, it is so hot. When will this summer end? Monsoon began. Where I live, monsoon has begun. Now, out of the rain and humidity and everything, I caught a cold. I decided to do some steam inhalation. What happened? The pot is there, filled with water, on top of fire. I am inhaling steam. When I felt that heat, in front of that heat, the summer's heat was nothing. So, there is so much heat, there is so much passion. It is the kinetic energy of passion, motion, and intense desire. It causes movement, and it is the catalyst for all creation. How is Rajoguna the catalyst for all creation? We will come to that later. Rajoguna gets things done. It is the catalyst for all creation. The Vedic scripture has said so. But if you let it go as it pleases, what will happen? Too much passion, no rest, too much motion, tiredness. Your mind would keep thinking. Eventually, it would overthink. Overthinking would lead to agitation. I want to grow in life. What is this? My salary is only 10,000. I can't be just a rickshaw puller every day. Not the auto rickshaw. I'm talking about the cycle rickshaw in extreme villages. Let me go to the city and improve. I become an auto rickshaw driver. I'm earning 30,000 per month. Not enough. I become a cab driver, Uber driver. I start earning 60,000 per month. Not enough. I take a loan. I purchase cars. Then the drivers are running. I am earning now not 60,000 but 6 lakhs per month. Not enough. I have to do something. I have to do something. I have to do something. I have to grow. The hunger to grow is good, but the direction where you should grow and the way in which you should grow also matter. When you fail there, you would fail everywhere. So, eventually, too much Rajoguna would give you endless ambition. It will give you anxiety, give you greed. Anxiety, greed, and so on. Remember, these are all also associated with Tamoguna. Eventually, you will get a burnout because everything that you are seeking is temporary. Now I earn 60 lakhs per month. Okay. But so what? I am 70 years old. After 20 years, even 6 rupees will not come with me. In the end, this fire that is inside my mind, no, it has consumed me for all of these 90 years. At the end of those 90 years, what will happen to me? The outer fire will consume my body. Tatastam Riyamanam tu Kashtapashana Sannibham, as Bhagavan says. That situation will come to everybody. Who can escape it? So, our life is limited. We know one person lives 90 years, one person lives 120 years, one person lives 60 years. No matter what, even if you live 60,000 years, it is still limited. So, whatever you do in life, has to have a lasting impact. Is that necessary or not? Whatever you do in this life should have a lasting impact for the better. Lasting impact can also be given by dropping bombs everywhere, being a dictator, not that kind. We are talking about a lasting positive impact. So, what we seek should not be something temporary, it should be permanent. That is why we should seek that eternal light. Finally, coming to the third force, Sattva Guna. This force is the clear mirror. Look at the image, look at the water. It is so clear that it is reflecting the mountain. It appears as though the mountain is growing underwater also, but it is not. It is a very clear reflection. It tells you what you are, it tells you things as they are. You know, there are different ways to understand Bhagavad Gita. Some people say Krishna gave Bhagavad Gita to teach Arjuna that dharma is not important. In Ramayana, Rama followed dharma. In Mahabharata, Krishna said, people are so hopeless, so you have to break dharma and go to fight. Bhagavad Gita is there only to make him go and fight. No. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita says, break dharma. Some people argue this way. What they don't understand is that Bhagavad Gita is in reality teaching the supreme dharma only. Vedo khilo dharma moolam, we say. The entirety of the Veda is the source of dharma. The crux of the Veda is in the Upanishad. Therefore, we call it as Vedanta. We call it as Shruti Shiras, the head of the Veda, the ultimate teaching of the Veda, Vedanta. And that Upanishad part is presented to us in a compressed, beautiful, and simplified form when Krishna talks to Arjuna. This is what we call as Bhagavad Gita. So some people interpret even the Bhagavad Gita differently. But in reality, if you want to understand what Bhagavad Gita has really said, you know, Bhagavad Gita says that for the sake of protecting your caste duties, you have to go and kill your own relatives. Some English author has written this way. I have read the book from last year. She got viral on Twitter some time back. But why is it that somebody interprets Bhagavad Gita that way? Why is it that some other people interpret in a different way? It's very simple. When the water is clear, the reflection is clear. When the water is agitated, you throw a stone into the pond, you will have ripples in the water. And when there are ripples in the water, you will not be able to see what is really there. So you can understand Tamoguna to be just flat terrain. You look down, you will have no reflection. Rajoguna to be water with ripples. But Sattva Guna is clear water, clear mirror. It is the real principle of light. It is the principle of equilibrium, balance all over. It is the principle of clarity, real knowledge. It is the principle of peace. It is the principle of true happiness. It is the principle of harmony. Therefore, Krishna says, it is necessary to develop this sattvic attitude. What is sattvic attitude? You focus on sattva, try to improve your sattva. That is called sattvic attitude, nothing else. All of us have all the three gunas, but we should focus on this sattva. So, if we really want to understand what is going on, what is the real nature of consciousness, what is it that makes everything happen, yet by itself doesn't get changed? The scriptures say it is of the nature of pure sattva, shuddha sattva. Is such a thing possible in nature? Is such a thing possible in universe? The scripture itself says, no, it is not possible. Everything in the universe is mixed up. It is Mishra Sattva, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, all the three gunas are there everywhere. Therefore, you have to get rid of these three. You have to get out of these Trigunya and attain that Shuddha Sattva. So, Sattva Guna is what acts like a flawless mirror. It takes you in the path of Dharma. It takes you properly in the path of moksha. It will help you to understand yourself and improve yourself. So, whatever we in general understand to be consciousness, it is simply a mental game played unknowingly by us due to the influence of this mixture of sattva, rajas, and tamas. When we get out of it, when we see the clear reflection, that is when we would understand our true nature. Our true nature as Atman, as being different. Krishna says transcend the three gunas because the three gunas are always there as a mixture. The last two questions that have come in the chat section, both of them have the same answer. Sattva, when I say, it is one of the three gunas which appears as a mixture along with the other two gunas. When I say Shuddha Sattva, it means it is not there with the other gunas. It is totally separate. So the same scripture, Mahabharata calls him Shuddha Sattva, Srimad Bhagavatam calls him Shuddha Sattva, Pancharatra calls him Shuddha Sattva. They are all there. But let us not focus there into what exactly is said in which scripture. Let us focus on the concept because we have like 2 minutes to end this session. So we should focus on Sattva. Krishna does not say ignore Sattva Guna and walk away. He says, get rid of this mixture. This is his teaching in the 16th and 17th chapters. You can see the way he describes the Sattvic person. He would praise the Sattvic person. Why would Krishna praise the Sattvic person if he is to be ignored? Yajante Sattvika Devan, he says. Correct? Yaksha Rakshamsi Rajasaha, Pretan Bhutagananshyanye Yajante Tamasa Janaha. Which is correct? Naturally, Sattva is only correct. So let us leave it there. We are going to look at the cosmic dance. The tamas, tamoguna, darkness, ignorance, that mist which prevents you from seeing. It will pull you. It will not let you advance properly. Because of it, you will not be able to advance. Rajas is of the different kind. It is the opposite. It pushes you. I want to do this. I want to do this. How can a fog block my view? I will still drive. In peak winter in NCR, somebody drives. There is winter fog. Then also all the pollution, 999 AQI. There also he is still going driving at 80 kmph. How is he able to do? He is pushed by Rajas. Sattva is what elevates. That is why it is called Sattva. It has Sat inside it, right? That Sat, which is the fundamental quality of the Supreme Being. You look at the etymology of Sattva, you will understand why Krishna is not against Sattva Guna. That is what takes you up. Uddharet, Krishna says. How do you do that? Using Sattva Guna. That is what leads you to understanding. That is what keeps you humble, helps you to go find a guru, surrender to a guru, learn from that guru, and then practice whatever has been taught. Think about it, contemplate about it. You live a life of balance instead of a life driven by pursuits. And you get control of your life and you get aligned with the universal truth, the ultimate one. So where are we right now? We are at 7:31. Apologies for extending, but I will end in 1-2 minutes.
That's all right, Acharji. Sometimes we close till 8 if it's very interesting.
So, where are we right now? How do we understand? I don't know. Each one of us has a different kind of a quality, and that quality would also change, right? In the morning, I woke up in a very, very nice mood. I went outside, it was such a sunny day. Suddenly, it started raining, and I lost my mood. I became very bad. Now I'm so frustrated. Oh, I got fully drenched in the rain. My clothes got wet, my bag got wet, I didn't have an umbrella. The same person will have different feelings at different points of time. Remember that. So, depending on which quality is dominating us at any point of time, we are at rest. If you say Veera Raghava is tamasic, it does not mean I have only tamoguna. It means I have much, much more tamoguna than rajoguna and sattva-guna. So, this is actually a good thing in a way. If my mind is foggy, if it is confused, it doesn't mean that I am eternally drowned in confusion. It means I can get out of that confusion. I still have some sattva inside of me. I should seek that. I should go for it and get rid of this confusion. So, in terms of mindset, you can see tamas refers fogginess, confusion, being apathetic. Apathetic, I think they pronounce it as. Rajas makes you restless and it keeps driving you. You keep moving, eventually you get tired. That peace which you want, you get with sattva. So, in terms of action, tamas means inaction. Therefore, you will either postpone, you will be lazy. Rajas is the exact opposite. I will overwork. My office manager said, office hours are only 8, but I want you to work for 9 hours because our client is asking for something. What do? I say, don't worry, sir. I will work for 12 hours. Why? I am seeking a promotion next month. So I will overwork myself. I will work for 12 hours every day. Is it really purposeful? Is it really mindful? Is it really helping me? I have to think about that, right? When I think about that, I will be sattvic. So, tamoguna gives sadness. Rajoguna gives tiredness, stress, tension. Sattva-guna gives us contentment. We actually have energy when we are in the mode of sattva. In the mode of rajas, we keep using that energy. Rajas is energetic, but rajas is energetic because we keep using up all our energy. In sattva, we will save all our energy. In tamas, we would not even have any energy to begin with. That is how it is. So if I keep complaining, oh, this is not right, that is not right, I don't think so. You narrated the entirety of Ramayana to me, but I think Rama is not that great. As though I am much greater, as though I am great enough to judge Rama. But this is how a lot of people speak, right? Oh, how can you say that I am wrong? Do you know how much I have studied? I can recite the entire Ramayana backwards. If I argue that way, what is that? The actual person, the sattvic person, would try to learn the teachings of Ramayana, inculcate it in their life, and try to improve. That is the correct way. So, where are we? We might be anywhere, but where should we be? We should be near Sattva because Sattva is what takes us towards growth. Sattva is what takes us towards realizing that consciousness. So, the framework has been set. We now understand what it is that pulls our mind, right? Our mind has different types of emotions. Depending on what we think, we act. As long as we are calling ourselves conscious, right? If we act without thinking, it's a very bad thing. But if we think and our thoughts lead to actions, as it happens most of the times, even in the case of animals, we have these invisible threads that are pulling our minds. What would we see in the next lecture? We would see how to use This action, we said there is Rajas. Rajas is about all growth, right? Rajas is about taking the effort, take the hard work. It is in general praised, but it is praiseworthy only if that hard work leads to something meaningful. So that meaningful sattva, you should arrive at that by using Rajas to remove tamas as much as possible. Eventually, Rajoguna would also go away. That is the aim. So this is something that we would discuss in another session. I was informed that there are 2 lectures. So in the second lecture, we will look at how to use these to master the anatomy of consciousness. So our aim is to understand what is going on and what has to be done. This is what we have tried to do so far. So if there is any other question, let me check the chat section. How to strike a balance between too lazy and or too passionate? I don't think we should strike a balance there. I think you should stop being too lazy. So I don't think you should strike a balance between laziness and passionate. Laziness should be removed. Uh, then the second one says, our aim to attain Shuddha Sattva, one should be striking a balance between the 3 gunas or just attain Sattva? Excellent question. You should, there is no such thing as a greatness achieved by a balance between the 3 gunas, because as we have seen, Tamoguna is associated with the lower materialistic qualities. Sattva guna is associated with the higher qualities, right? So we should move more and more towards sattva. Here it is impossible for us to attain Shuddha Sattva during our lives. Let me tell you that also. But you should keep moving towards it. You should keep trying to improve. That is the correct path. Do Bhagavatas reach a state where they become untouched by sin and karmas? Anybody, when they attain moksha, they will reach that state. That is all. Otherwise, if you don't commit sin, you will not be touched by sin. If you don't commit papa karma, you will not be touched by papa karma. But some karma or the other, you still have to commit when you are here. When you are living, you will do karma. How will you get rid of karma? Only when you get moksha. That supreme state of existence, realizing the supreme consciousness, that is what we should try. For that, we need sattva guna. I hope that answers all the questions. Oh, one more question. Is sattva 2 binding? Is sattva 2 binding us to the material world? Not necessarily, but we call this as Mishra sattva. We divide sattva into 2 types, Shuddha sattva and Mishra sattva. The sattva that we generally talk about, right? Whenever we say sattva, rajas, tamas, we are actually talking about Mishra sattva. Mishra sattva is sattva mixed with rajas and tamas. That is what binds us. Is it possible for us to separate sattva completely and just stay there? It is not possible for us. But it is possible for us to improve our sattva guna more and more so that we realize the supreme consciousness, so that we achieve moksha, in which state we will not have these problems. We will be untouched by sins and karmas. We will not be bound to anything and so on. Should we see every experience as a witness only? First, we should understand what it means to see every experience as a witness. If you are experiencing something, does it mean you are just witnessing it? If you experience happiness, are you just witnessing something that is giving you happiness? You're already influenced by it, right? You cannot get experience without influence.
Thank you, Acharya Ji. That was really, really interesting. Can we have, if you're okay with it, we can throw the floor open for more questions.
I guess the questions are done.
Yes. Yes, it looks like they've all asked their questions. I have a question, Swamiji. I mean, Acharya Ji. We've always been speaking about the mode of ignorance, which is tamaguna, the mode of passion, as well as rajaguna, and the mode of goodness, that is sataguna. So, and as you had mentioned, first of all, thank you very much for an amazing session. This is very practical also. If we look at that, we are all in the various, we have different ratios of each of the three modes at different times of the day. Like when we sleep, we need more tamaguna so that we rest properly. And when we are awake, it was good for us to be in equipoise so that we are more in the state of sataguna. What we've been told, please validate this, that what we've been told is that rajaguna is the mode of passion. It's the active force that can be influenced or used by the tamaguna if we are ignorant, if we are more in the side of ignorance. But it can also be used by the mode of sataguna, the mode of goodness, be kind, be good, and so on, to get into action through a sattvic framework. And if we do this often enough, then we get into a level of intuition, or I think Shuddha Tattva, which is what you mentioned, where we are guided by our higher selves. So that takes us beyond the modes, the three modes of the three gunas. Is there an accurate perception of the three gunas and going beyond the three gunas?
It is accurate. However, I would like to give two clarifications. The first one is pretty simple. That the next lecture is titled "How do we use rajas to break tamas and cultivate sattva?" I am intentionally not taking a lecture to show how to use rajas to break sattva and reach tamas. But that is also a possibility. We are not interested in that. That is the only reason why we are not focusing. Rajas is by definition in between sattva and tamas. So something that is related to passion and leads you, it drives you to action, right? When you indulge in action, there are many ways to indulge in action. Now, Krishna does not say, don't do anything. Oh, Arjuna, just stand there, don't do anything. Krishna could have said that. He did not say. Krishna said, go fight the war. Why? Oh, Krishna is telling me to indulge in rajas. I wanted to be in sattva. No, Krishna says, if you don't fight, you will be in tamas, you will not be in sattva. So, a person who is in a state of confusion, right? Let me try to go up one slide. You can see here, tamas is what gives you confusion. Arjuna was a great scholar. He had also studied the Vedas, but he did not know what the right thing to do is. You don't even need to study the Vedas to know what is the right thing to do when you are in the middle of a battlefield. Okay. But Arjuna could not understand that, right? So the thing is, Krishna asked him to perform action to lead him towards sattva. So that is how it moved. You can't directly say remove all action. You can't remove that. It is impossible. Secondly, since one person mentioned in the chat section, Krishna says get out of all the three gunas. We should understand that with a pinch of salt. Firstly, I mentioned that it is a mixture of the three that he wants us to get out of. It is very simple. Krishna will say Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha. Then Krishna will also say Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. Krishna himself will say Veda is great. Krishna himself will say Vedas talk about these three gunas, get beyond it. What is he even trying to say? Krishna is not saying Vedas are useless. He is trying to say that once you realize everything that has already been taught by the Vedas, you will not require Vedic teaching. So his aim is totally different. We have to understand carefully, depending on what he has said. We can't just take a verse and then see the meanings and then say, oh, look, Krishna has said this. Oh, look, Krishna has said that. It is easy for us to say that. But if we do that, there would be no difference between, us and that lady who said, look, Krishna is insulting women, literally citing a shloka which says, even women are equal to men, they also get moksha by surrendering to me. Krishna says, Mamhi partha vyapashritya yepi sihu papa yonayaha striyo vaishyas tatha shudraha tepi yanti parangatim. He says, irrespective of community, irrespective of gender, they will also come and get moksha. Tepi yanti parangatim. They will get the supreme state of existence. Citing this shloka, one lady said, look, he has insulted women here. Now what can we do? So we should avoid that. That is why we say Shastra Jnanam Bahuklesham Buddhesh Chalana Karanam Upadeshat Harim Buddha Viramet Sarva Karmasu. The knowledge presented in the Shastra, right? It is not simple. Why do most people ignore the Shastras? Because it is not simple. It makes you to scratch your brain, scratch your head so much. Buddhesh Chalana Karanam. It is a cause of confusion. And we said confusion is tamoguna. So, but can we throw away the Shastra then? Saying, oh, it leads to tamoguna. No. Upadeshat Harim Budhva. Go to a proper guru. That guru will give you an Upadesha. Oh, are you an Advaiti? Go to an Advaita guru. Are you Advaiti? Go to Advaita guru. They will give you Upadesha. With that Upadeshat Harim Budhva. Shankaracharya said Bhajo Govindam. Madhvacharya also said Bhajo Govindam. Their followers might have differences, but both of them said it. So, at the end of the day, there is a path to elevate. There is a common path recognized by all the philosophers, great saints, great scholars, not some tiny fellow like Veera Raghava. But we need to approach these masters and surrender to them if we wish to grow. Now, in the perspective of Advaita, as taught by Shankara Bhagavad Pada, that is Adi Shankaracharya, this guna, right? When I say Shuddha Sattva would be the quality of Saguna Brahman. Shuddha Sattva is still a guna. Parabrahman in the Nirguna state is void of any guna. He cannot have Sattva guna also, as per Shankaracharya. But in Nirguna, you cannot see him, you cannot do anything, you cannot see yourself, you cannot see the universe, nothing will be there. That is a totally different state. We call it Paramartha. We have not realized that. We are in what is called as Vyavahara. In this Vyavahara, where we see the material universe, where I see myself, Rameshji and all the others, this is a place where we can operate only with gunas. So you need these gunas. That is the teaching of Shankaracharya as well.
There is one more question from Hemant Ji. It says, Guruji, please explain about Mahat, Ahankara that you mentioned in the lecture.
That. I was just talking about the transformation of Mula Prakriti. That is, Prakriti in its raw form. We talked about Purusha and Prakriti, right? So, you know that the universe got transformed, right? There was, in science, they say there was a big bang from a very, very tiny thing. Somehow it exploded. Then matter became more than antimatter, and the space itself started expanding. Then space-time started expanding, matter got created. Eventually, solar system got created, Earth got created, life on Earth got created, dinosaur got created, petrol got created. They say all of that. So what has really happened is transformation, right? When there was a point of singularity in the very, very initial part of the universe, the first 10 power minus 42 seconds or whatever, as they say, at that point of time, you don't know what happened. Simply because whatever you see today and understand today was not there. So there has been a lot of transformation. That is a raw state. So we say that Prakriti was in a very raw state. That raw state Prakriti, we call it as Mula Prakriti. Mula meaning the source, because that raw state is the source of everything that it became, everything that came out of it. So from that Prakriti came Mahat, and from Mahat came Ahankara. Now Ahankara people translate as ego. It is not wrong to translate it as ego, but by ego, if you think, oh, you are referring to egoistic people, then how did I get created from egoistic people? That is a wrong understanding. That ego is a slightly different ego. So, Ahankara, like as I said, Prakriti has these three gunas, right? So, everything that comes out of Prakriti will also have these three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So, you have Sattvika Ahankara, Rajasa Ahankara, and tamasa ahankara. So whatever we call as indriyas, right? We have karmendriyas, we have jnanendriyas, and whatever we call as panchabhutas and panchatanmatras in between them, all of them came from these either satvika ahankara or tamasa ahankara. Whatever came out of tamasa ahankara is non-living. Whatever is an aspect of living, like the indriya, like the jnanendriya that you have, that is all a result of your satvika ahankara. So this is how it proceeded. So these are stages in the evolution of Prakriti towards the physical non-living things that we have, and also those aspects that are influencing us mentally. See, we will say this is a mental aspect. I am thinking, I am intelligent. You go to the scientist will say your brain is triggering this chemical, this molecule is traveling from one dendrite to another dendrite, an electrical signal is given. That is what is making you think. The way the scientist explains it, you will think I myself am non-living. Where is the living aspect inside of me if everything is only a chemical reaction? So where is that connection? That connection is there in ahankara. When ahankara's sattva aspect got transformed, you got the sentient qualities. When the tamasic quality got transformed, you got the non-sentient qualities, aspects rather.
Really very interesting and practical, Acharya Ji. And we're really looking forward to our next session this coming Thursday. So if anybody else has any questions, you can either type it out or ask, unmute and ask, because we now come to the end, almost to the end of the satsang. Dhanyos Niguruji. That's very sweet. Imanji. So if there are no more questions,
Thank
Bharaniji,
you
have
so
anything?
much. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Brother Ganesh. Brother Ramesh, sorry.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Bye. I'm
Bye.
sorry I'm disconnecting because I've got people over at my place.
Understood. Thank you so much for joining us today.
But
See
please
you next
keep praying for my brother, Brother
Will
Ramesh,
do.
please. Thank you so
Will
much.
do. Yeah, most
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you very much. Very interesting, sir. God bless you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for attending.
Thank you.
So we now come to the last part of our satsang. Harini ji said something interesting. Atma is pure and Ahankara is like a cover over it, just like a body. So has she understood it right, Acharya ji?
Atma by itself is pure, but if Atma, see, you need to understand which state of the Atma you are referring to. Okay. Right now, you, myself, everybody here, we are all in a state of baddha, where we are bound. We are bound by our indriyas, we are bound by our mind. We are not fully tamasic per se, but we have not controlled it. We have not mastered our mind. We have not had taken complete control over everything the way great masters have done in the past. We have not done it. That is why we are here. You are here as a student for that reason. I am here as a teacher for that reason. If I had realized, I would have been doing something that is beneficial to many, many more people in a much better way. But the point is, Atma by itself is pure. Yes, there is no doubt about it. But you need to understand the purity, because I can understand the purity only if I have some purity inside of myself. I should know what is meant by pure. I should understand the value of that purity. And then I should understand that I am that Atma. Then I should think, if I am Atma and I am pure, then why is there so much impurity around? If you say the impurity is because of ahankara, because which is just a cover over it, just like a body, I would say it is not like that. There is something else also in play called karma. Karma is associated with the gunas. Okay. Sadhukari sadhur bhavati. Papakari papo bhavati. This is a statement in the Veda. It is said in the Upanishad that way. So a person who does good karma will eventually be able to elevate themselves. A person who does bad karma would get more and more towards tamoguna. This influence of gunas is there, no doubt, but does it really have to do with ahankara? Ahankara gives you the indriyas, but how you use your indriyas is up to you. Ahankara gave you panchabhutas. Whether you purify water or whether you pollute water is up to you. So, this ahankara is different from the general ahankara that we talk about. We say, no, get rid of ahankara, get rid of mamakara. Remember, I never mentioned mamakara in the transformation of Prakriti because that's a different ahankara, mamakara. This is a different ahankara. So, this has to do with what gives us the sentience with that eventually results in a feeling of I. Whereas the ahankara that we generally talk about is I am great. I am great, ahankara is different. I ahankara is different. So that is to be understood. So I wouldn't say that it is just like a cover over it. There are other forces at play. Your own karma is what is leading you to get influenced by these strings. Eventually, you will see these three strings are controlling me like a puppet. But who is the puppeteer? Who is the one moving all of those? You will understand that the source of those strings are also you only. That is when you will be able to take control of the strings. Hence, it is said in the Brahma Sutra, Karta Shastrartha Vatvat, Jivatma is not just a puppet being used by Paramatma, not like that. Jivatma is Karta. You are the one who is doing whatever is being done. Don't say somebody else is making me do. Oh, I am sleeping because Bhagavan wants me to sleep. I have been created that way. This is the universal reality. What can I do? If that excuse cannot be given.
Okay. So thank you so much, Acharya Ji. It's so interesting. We can keep going on, but I think we're just about run out of time. And you can find the recordings on YouTube. If you contact Swati, she will let you know how to get there. Everything. I think if you just type in School of Ancient Wisdom um, satsangs, you might probably be able to figure out where it is. But Swati will be able to guide you better. And of course, Hemant ji had another question. Guruji, can we compare super ego of psychology to Mahat? But I think in the interest of time, it may be a good idea to cover this next week because I also have some questions about the various divisions of ego, which is it's so interesting. The way you put it. There's so many finer nuances that I'm sure it'll open up a new conversation stream, which will make us completely run out of time. So maybe we can park this for next week when Acharya Ji is back with us. So on that note, we now come to the last part of our satsang, the Loka Samasta. So in this collective prayer, which is very powerful, I've practically experienced the power of these prayers because I was a person who was skeptical about these earlier. And so if you remember the names of your loved ones or people in your community, you could even say it out loud and maybe what problem they're going through, be it in the area of health or wealth or relationships. Now, the three areas of karma that most of us go through, then we will say a collective prayer for them. As Jasmine ji mentioned, we'll pray for her brother Robert, and also in my case for my new house so that I get all the loans closed and complete it easily. And if there's anything else, please do either say their names out loud and what problems they're going through, or just think of those people. And also let us send out our prayers to the world at large, to all the leaders of all the countries. May they lead in dharma. May dharma prevail. May love and truth prevail. Please sit straight with your back, neck, and head aligned. Take a nice deep breath and let go. Observe the silence within. The language of the soul connects all of us. and also connects us to our source. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Enjoy that blanket of peace and remember this moment and revisit it whenever you can during the week. It will not only bring you peace, but it will center you in a space of equipoise that Krishna loves so much. That is also Christ consciousness. That is the underlying truth behind all the religious and spiritual systems. Once again, on behalf of the School of Ancient Wisdom, I would like to thank Acharya Ji for this wonderful satsang today, the first part of the two-part series, which we'll also continue next week. So see you all at the same day, same time, same place next week. Thank you once again, Acharya Ji, and God bless you all. Hari Om.